Are we there and ready? Or you need a little more time?
We're ready.
Do I have everybody there?
I'm here.
I'd like oh, Mr. Pileski is gone.
If you're not here, let us know.
I'm here,
Earl
Phil.
there.
I'm here.
Okay, I guess we need a motion to bring the meeting back from recess.
So moved.
Did I do it right, Earl? You're muted. You're muted. Okay, I have motion and
Close enough,
support.
close enough, Mr. Chair. I think you just banged the table and you're back at it.
Oh, my pop fizzed up. Okay, we had a motion and support to re-adjourn the meeting. All in favor indicate the sign. Thank you. Next up will be item 4K. It's an administrator controller. It's a fee schedule for fiscal year 2021.
Thank you. We bring this every year to confirm fees that are assessed by the departments. I highlight every year the courts are not included in this. The courts, of course, are a separate branch of government, as well as the fact that their fees are statutorily defined typically. And if they're not statutorily defined, there's a recommended range from the State Court Administrator's Office. So those fees are overseen by the State Court Administrator's Office and legislation. So all of our other offices and departments, offices of the elected officials and departments, we do include in this with the exception of one, which is the health department, which we saw earlier today. The health department is on October 1 to September 30th budget. So last year and this year, they wanted their fees to start October 1st. So they chose to bring theirs separately, but typically everybody else is included in this. So there were just a few minor changes this year. There was a minor change with the treasurer. I highlighted in yellow on the attachment. The treasurer had a minor adjustment in 1 or 2 fees. The animal shelter added a puppy fee. We've had a huge demand for puppies. So there was a couple minor changes that are listed there and highlighted in yellow. I believe I didn't hear back, but I believe the airport and JC Dot may be bringing theirs a little bit later. They didn't have their numbers ready in time. So I believe there may be some additional fees coming down the road, but we typically do this annually in September. And so this is what everybody says their minor changes are this year.
Okay,
Questions?
board, everybody's looked at the changes highlighted in yellow. Didn't look to be too awful many either. I actually expected more, thinking we could help with the budget, but they are what they are. Any questions, concerns? Daniel?
Sorry, just a quick question, and if we don't know the exact answer, I can wait for an answer. On the animal shelter puppy adoption fee, is that just going from being either $150 or $200 to just a straight $250?
Yes, our puppies are very underpriced. We're not even near what market is and what our costs are for the prices. Typically they go quick and there's a very large amount of applications. So they sort through extraordinary amounts of applications. So based on a high demand and the time frame involved in selecting the applications, sorting through those, we felt that there was the cost in processing those is a little bit higher.
And then just one more question for clarification on the line right above that under the treasurer's office for passport photo fees, 2 sets of pictures of each. Is that just going from $10 to $13? Because there's 2 lines, one says $10, one says 0, and then the increase both says 13. So is there one going from 0 to 13, or is that just 2 lines because of the description of what it was for?
My understanding from Karen, I don't know if Karen's still on the line, but my understanding is that, yes, you're correct. The one fee is going from 10 to 13. And the second fee, there was previously no fee for that, and that's going to 13. So one is just a slight increase and the other is going from no charge to a minimal charge.
Okay, okay. All right.
Any further questions? Okay, committee, we need a motion and support to send this to the full board.
So moved.
Rodney
Support.
seconded. Thank you, Rodney. All in favor, show the sign. Yes, unanimously. Thank you, board. Gotta go to the next one here. Resolution to accept the CARES Act grant opportunity.
So we spoke about this opportunity probably about a month ago. We had found out on a short notice about $390,000 and some change that was available through MEDC at the state level. And as part of the requirement of accepting that grant money, we have to do a couple of things. One of them is pass a resolution. The second one is to have a public hearing. So you'll notice on our Tuesday night meeting next week, there's going to be a public hearing listed for input, even though it is a reimbursement grant. So the money has already been spent. This is a requirement that we have to do in order to accept these fees. So the resolution will be moved through the normal process to Tuesday night, and then we'll have a public hearing and the resolution passed at that point. So just a process that we need to go through to accept any portion or all of that grant money. Yes, sir.
Commissioner Pulaski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Deb. Deb, is this related to the budget amendment we did in Human Services a little bit ago on COVID? So this is in addition to
Yes.
the health department thing that we talked about earlier.
Correct. Yeah, this is a separate grant. We have not seen any of the funds yet. It's a reimbursement. In order to receive any funds, reimbursement funds, we have to adopt this resolution, have a public hearing, and then they will take a look at our books to see what's eligible for reimbursement. So we haven't gotten to that step yet. Yeah.
Okay, further questions? Daniel,
No questions, but I will move for this to be brought to the full board.
we need a second. Second, Mr. Pulaski, thank you. Okay, we have motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Show the sign. Passes unanimously. Thank you, board. Next up, Administrator Controller, the Morgue agreement.
Hello, Morgue agreements. As most of you know, I'm sure, we had to build a new morgue because the hospital was no longer available to us for a space for morgue. We were fortunate enough to have space we could renovate out at Channer. I used about a third of that property there. We have a very modern space with all the amenities for full autopsies. Lenawee found themselves to be in the same position as us about a year after us, in which they were no longer, they had no more access to the hospital for morgue services. And then, of course, they talked to us and said, hey, how about we make a deal? We can work something out with you guys. And then on the side too, another avenue, there is the state has been pushing for a regional approach for morgue services where they wanted to have just a few large facilities or larger facilities. So we were, when we were putting our space out there, we're like, well, we're close to 94. This would be a good location. And the building is large enough, since we're only using a third of it, that potentially we could expand into that space if we had opportunity down the road. So here comes Lenawee. Now, come to find out, Lenawee also does morgue services for Hillsdale. So, and how it works out is Lenawee does about, they do about twice as many services, autopsies as Hillsdale. And when you add those two together, they equal what we do. So pretty close to 50-50. So it worked out from that perspective that we had that opportunity. Our employee, long-term employee, most of you guys have probably known Jill she's been around for a long time. Well, she was retiring. Well, Lenawee has a full-time employee who is probably just in her prime, frankly, down there, to be honest. She's very, very capable. So it worked out well that we could utilize their employee, so no training issues to be had, and they could utilize our space. So when you did the math on it, they're renting our morgue facilities for those two counties. And of course, Sarah's her name. She is their employee, Lenawee's employee. So we no longer have a full-time employee in the morgue. We have a part-time employee. So we ended up having 3 counties using, and not just one full-time employee, which we had before just for ourselves, but 1.5. It worked out to be quite a good deal for everybody. Everyone's saving money. Our plan, we anticipate about $60,000, just over $60,000 annually savings there. Questions?
Budget reduction then, hey?
It is. It's yeah. We didn't have to look to them to make any cuts because frankly, we're ahead of the game down there.
Any questions, board?
Just need to move to the full board.
Please.
So moved.
Your support?
Support.
Support, Rodney? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, board. Next up, we have the claims. We need a motion to support to pay the claims.
So moved.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Michael,
Aye.
how are we doing at getting them signed?
Well, at this very moment in time, I don't believe we have any signatures on this set.
I mean,
But prior, we've been doing good. I need at least 3. I need a quorum of each board, so committee, and we've been successful every time.
all right.
We just
Yeah.
leave them out there until we get them.
Yeah, leave them signed, guys. Get them signed. Okay, next up is other meetings. Other minutes, we have none. Followed by October reporting schedule. All we have is finance report. So we return to public comment. Michelle, do we have any public comment that sat around for 4 hours waiting for our meeting to finish?
That would be a negative, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, committee member comments.
This is
Anybody got
officially the longest meeting that we have ever had.
Elwell has told me that time and time again. He has.
What time did we start? 8 o'clock?
No, we start at 10. We start at 10.
Well, some of us started at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
We're done.